I think one thing that I would want to impress on parents is the idea of pursuing their teens. I think oftentimes when we think about the word pursuit, we think about asking them questions about their day, and then or correcting their behavior or their attitude. But I wonder if we can reclaim the word pursue and actually think of it as an opportunity to know what's on their heart. And what I mean is that so often, and I'm speaking to myself too. I have teenagers at home. I have 3 kids from middle school to high school. And my temptation daily is to just talk at them rather than really wanting to know what it is that they are thinking, what preoccupies their minds and their hearts. And it takes a little bit more effort and a little bit of time. But I think so often our teens are going to school, they are spending many hours at school with teachers talking at them all day long. And when you are talked at so often, there are very few opportunities where people are asking you what it is that you're thinking about in terms of your relationships, your day-to-day activities, even the pressures of life. And when students are not given the opportunity just to share, I think there is so much suppressed. And I think a lot of times what happens is when there's so much suppressed and there isn't anything communicated, a lot of times parents end up drawing their own conclusions about what their child may be thinking. But I think there is something so good about taking the time to be able to just ask the question, how are you doing and what is on your heart? What is it that feels heavy? What is it that feels good? And I think if we were to just slow those opportunities down a little bit, I know that parents also have a lot of pressures day to day, but I think there is just enormous value in just taking the time to meet our kids where they are, to ask the question rather than to talk at them. And that really allows us to know them really well.
One of the things that I wish parents understood about youth students and their children, specifically when it comes to church attendance, is that Sunday is not enough. So much of youth ministry is relational, and it's about building relationships. And especially if you're a part of an Asian immigrant church, specifically the Korean immigrant church, oftentimes youth ministries have their own Sunday services, like a full-on Sunday service. And so time for students to get to know one another, students to develop relationships, that's very, very difficult on a Sunday morning. I can't tell you how important it is for parents to make the conscious decision to send their students and their children to the Wednesday nights and the Friday nights, so that they can build relationships. Those relationships and those friendships can really help solidify the faith of a child during the time that they're in youth ministry. The second thing that I'd like to say is that it's important for parents to understand that the questions that you ask to your kids after church really shapes the expectations for the kids. So oftentimes, one of the things that I dealt with as a youth pastor was, sometimes youth group is boring. It's boring because not everything that we do is fun and games. Sometimes the things that we do involve deep Bible study. We do book studies together. And so sometimes parents will hear from their children that church is boring. And I think that's okay. So when I say that parents need to ask and discuss things with their children after church, one of the things that I would want and to encourage parents to do is not to ask that question, did you have fun at church today? Because I think that sets up the expectation that church is primarily about fun, and church has to be more than that. Church is where we have and create lifelong friendships. Church should be a place where people are worshiping the Lord. Church needs to be a place where our students are being discipled into the faith. And if they understand that, then I think it'll help make those moments when church is a little bit boring or church isn't as fun, it'll help them understand that that's okay, I can get through this, and there will be another activity or there will be another event that is fun. And so parents can work with their children to help make that experience a lot smoother. And so asking questions that are more in line with what did you learn about God, or how was worship today? Which of your friends came to church today? What did you talk to your small groups? What did you talk to your small group teachers about? What did you learn in your small groups? Those kinds of questions, I think, will also, number one, help foster more discussion. I know oftentimes parents complain that their kids don't talk enough to them. And so if you just ask, was church fun today? That gives them the opportunity to say yes or no. And so when you ask them a question that's more about what they learned, they'll give you a longer answer, and there's far more to be able to talk about.
As a psychologist, biblical counselor, and someone who has been doing youth ministry, along with having been a parent of teenagers, I do wish that one thing that parents would understand about teenagers is that this is a time where so many transitions are happening in their lives, cognitively, socio-emotionally, and physically, that because of all of those transitions, there are a lot of impact upon them. One being that they may experience a lot of emotions quite intensely, and that in the midst of those experiences, that they may have a little bit of a more difficult time while they are quite astute cognitively at that age, being able to understand how to manage their emotions as they try to make sense of the world. That's something that's really difficult, or can be difficult, at this time period. And so one of the things that I do really wish for parents to be able to tend to are your teens' emotional experience or emotional life. And what I often use is this phrase, connection before correction, to be able to tend to that. Oftentimes, I think parents will feel this desire to want to correct or teach them and tell them not to feel certain kinds of difficult emotions. But what they actually need is for the parents to relent, restrain themselves, and connect with their teens' emotions before correction. So being able to do that means really being able to slow down with them, and being able to recognize that they need a sounding board that's safe for them to be able to talk about these emotions that are coming up, that make interpreting or understanding even their relationship with their friends, with their parents, but even their relationship with God in a way that helps them to be able to feel safe to talk about.